because the mindset's the important part to actually get you to go through the strategy. Because you can get a strategy, but if you don't do it all, if you quit at the first obstacle, you're not going to get there.
You've heard the expression, fake it till you make it?
Yep.
Bad idea.
Okay.
Because it basically sends a mixed message to your subconscious mind. And my view is, why fake it when you can make it?
How do we, maybe we could do a group session on getting rid of some negative beliefs.
Um,
Or
Probably,
what would be more appropriate as a group?
I think what would be good is to show everybody a very quick way to stop worry and dread. Would that be good? Yep. All right, so let's do it. All right, so I'm just going to see if I can see how many people I won't be able to see everyone, so I'll just watch some people. All right, so
Yep.
what I want to do.
Everyone like to turn their camera on,
Mhm.
and Vesna's going to hypnotize you through the camera. No,
No, not really. You're going to
I'm
hypnotize
joking.
yourself, actually.
Hello and welcome to our weekly podcast, Money for Life, where you come to learn how to create money for life. I'm your host, George Markoski from Positive Property. And tonight we're going to be talking about 60 minutes, reprogram your mind in 60 minutes. And imagine this, imagine getting a hypnotherapist to help you get your mindset right. But think about something even better. Think about a doctor of hypnotherapy. They're very rare. And we've got the real privilege tonight. I'm going to have Dr. Vesna Grubacevic, who's a doctor of hypnotherapy, but also a master neuro-linguistic programmer. And when it comes to mindset, she's really good at what she does. She's a dear friend as well. We've known each other for a long time. And I'm very excited. And Vesna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, George. Hello, everyone. Great to be here.
Dr. Vesna, your business is
QT stands for Quantum Transformation.
Quantum Transformation. Beautiful. QT. There we go. I just want to talk about that. So you've been working with people for how long now?
Over 24 years now.
24 years. And there's not many people that are actually doctor of hypnotherapy.
This is true. Yes.
Yep. And you've achieved that. So that's quite an achievement. But not only that, you've worked with a lot of people over the last 24 years. So you really know your stuff. And I remember when I first met you, actually, we met in Sydney.
That's right.
Back in the 90s, we met at Sydney. We were both assisting at a training with Tad James, Dr. Tad
Correct.
James. Yes.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, he's passed away now, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
Yeah. Which is sad because he was quite the character. And
Yeah,
he certainly got a lot of people involved in neuro-linguistic program and hypnotherapy. He was a big fan of that. And, I remember when he first started, he used to wear his Hawaiian shirts and then he started wearing Versace. He went through a lot of different phases, which is fascinating.
he did.
Yep. You've done a bit of work with Tony Robbins as well.
Yes, I've done all of his levels up to Leadership Academy.
Leadership Academy, exactly, which is great. So I'm sure there's a lot of Tony Robbins fans here. Oops, my camera has disappeared. Oh, here we go. Yep, exactly. So tonight we're going to talk about 60 minutes to reprogram mind for success, for richness. And what I was going to do is just talk about how important mindset is. See, a lot of people, they're looking for a strategy, because what we do is we do property, and a lot of people looking for a strategy, and they think if I get the right strategy, that's all I need. I'll follow the strategy, and then I'll be rich. Now, the thing is, the the big challenge is easier said than done because trying to follow the strategy is difficult. Investing in property is hard. And because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? And that's the whole point. And that's where mindset comes in, because the mindset's the important part to actually get you to go through the strategy. Because you can get a strategy, but if you don't do it all, if you quit at the first obstacle, you're not going to get there. And we all imagine doing something, and you imagine it with no obstacles at all. You're like, wow, this is going to be so easy, or it's going to be hard, but you don't ever imagine the obstacles when you're looking at your goals. But there's one thing guaranteed: if your goal is big enough, you're going to have a lot of big obstacles in your way, and it
Absolutely.
happens every time. And I've been through a lot of obstacles, and becoming successful is your ability to go through the obstacles when other people don't, because it's
Yeah.
really easy to just give in or give up And sometimes I see people and they've done all the work and they're right at the finish line. They're a meter from the finish line, and that's when they pack it in. And that's the worst. I mean, if you're going to give up at the beginning before you run the race. But giving up right at the end of the race is the worst time. But that's what happens sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah. So over to you.
Thank you for that introduction, George. Wonderful. So I agree. Mindset is everything. Some people say it's over 80% of success is mindset. So, we can debate the numbers, but it is significant. It's all important. And I always say to people, you can have great systems, you can have great technology, but if you're not using the right mindset to use those resources, you won't necessarily succeed. So the mindset is really, really important. Yeah.
Yep. So how do we program ourselves for success? How do we get the mindset? How do we get the resilience? How do we um, beat those demons? I mean, one of the other things is, I suppose, when you're doing something different, because when I first started investing, I
Mhm.
know I was very excited about it. I talked to people about it, say, look, I'm going to invest. And everyone's like, oh, no, you can't invest now. You're going to lose your money. It's the wrong time. Don't invest now. And then I'd invest and I'd make money. And then I'd go, oh, I'm getting my next house. And they're like, oh, you were lucky with that one. But no, you shouldn't do it now. And this is people that didn't have properties, but people love to give you advice because they've got their own insecurities. They don't believe it's possible. And then they give their limiting beliefs. I think a lot of people, and maybe we can explain limiting beliefs, what they do is they pass on their limiting beliefs to you whenever you try to get out of your comfort zone and do something different.
Yes, correct. Correct. I have a very clear example of that. When I resigned from the bank, I used to work at NAB for 13 years. And when I decided to leave the bank, I sent an email to all the people I knew at the bank, to hundreds of people that I worked with. And within 24 hours, I received email replies back. Some were positive, some were negative, and they came in randomly. And you can imagine my head was spinning because some of them were really negative, reflecting their own negative beliefs. And I was really positive and supportive and congratulating me. And I started to question myself. Did I really make the right decision leaving the bank? Did I make the right decision to resign? And I learned a very important lesson that day. I decided from that point forth, I will only share my goals and dreams with people that are going to be my cheer squad. Okay?
Exactly. Love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Look,
So yeah.
and you know what? Thursday night is all about being part of the cheer squad. Everyone here, I'm your cheer squad, all the other members of your cheer squad, which is great. I love that. That's beautiful. It's a smart
Mm,
idea. Share
yeah.
your positive stuff, the things you're going to do with your cheer squad, people that are going to back you up and congratulate you, and don't do it with the people that are going to be negatory.
Yes, and rain on your parade. That's right.
Hmm.
Exactly. You've heard the expression, you are your environment. So you need to be really, really careful about who you surround yourself with, what you read, what you listen to, what you watch, because all of that is a subconscious suggestion.
Yes, and what I did over the years as I invested, I slowly changed my circle of friends. And it wasn't on purpose because people that aren't as successful as you, they fall off because sometimes they feel uncomfortable around you and different things. And I've noticed my circle change. And
Mhm.
one thing I've noticed, because I know some very successful people, and I've never had a successful person go, George, that's a dumb idea. They're always supportive. It's
Yes.
usually the people that are unsuccessful that say, oh, you can't do that. But other people are like, wow, that's a great idea. You know what I mean? They're very positive and supportive. And it's funny that that's the way it is. And that's the people you
Mm.
want around you. You want people to encourage your growth and you getting out of your comfort zone.
Correct. That's exactly right. So really be careful of who you surround yourself with, what you share with people, and it's to make sure that you maintain your mental well-being as well. Yeah, because if people are negative around you, it'll just drag you down. And you'll know because when you're around people that are positive, you feel energized and you're more motivated. And when you're people around people who are negative, you feel drained and your energy gets zapped. So you'll know by the way you feel who's the right person to be around.
Yep. And when doubts creep in, that's when people's mindset falls and fails.
Yes,
You've got a
exactly.
certain amount of resilience, but I suppose you can build that resilience, can't you?
You can. We need to be careful though, because if we just band-aid the solution and just, do some rah-rah motivation and, pretend like all is well while those doubts are still there, all it does is it confuses the subconscious mind. Am I supposed to be doubting? Am I supposed to be positive? We want to be aligned on the same page with ourselves. So ideally, you want to identify and let go of the self-doubts. So you've got a blank canvas and then overlay the positive and reinforce it with positive afterwards. Okay.
Okay. So what you're saying is pretending to be positive sometimes can be counteractive.
Yes.
Counteractive. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bit like, I suppose, you got those people that want to be happy and they're really trying to force it and they can't be happy because they're trying too hard to be happy or trying
Yes.
too hard to get into a relationship or something because they're trying to force it and go against their unconscious or whatever without clearing that. Is that what you're talking about? Because some
Yeah.
things are harder to get the more you chase them, and other things are easier the more you chase them.
Well, I think we need to be aligned, George. We need to be aligned. So if you've heard the expression, fake it till you make it.
Yep.
Bad idea,
Okay.
because it basically sends a mixed message to your subconscious mind. And my view is, why fake it when you can make it? I mean,
I'd rather make it than fake it.
yeah, exactly. And it's a lot
Mm,
easier to make it than to fake it, because it takes more effort to fake it and pretend than to have the success. Okay, so
absolutely.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, what can we do for the people watching?
Mhm.
Can we do some sort of exercise to um, give them some more personal power and things like that?
Oh, there's a lot of things we can do. So is there a particular type of strategy people would like? Like,
Type in the chat if anyone wants some help with something, especially in mindset. You should type in the chat, and maybe we can have a bit of a think. But
yeah.
I would say the one thing that I would wish for everyone is when you first start investing in property, you're going to have a lot of self doubt. Is it
Mhm.
real? Is it really going to work? Is this legit? Am I going to make it? Because I know I had those thoughts. And what I did, I just pushed through anyway. And the reason I pushed through is um, I had no other option because I didn't come from a rich family, and I knew that the only way I was going to do it was through property. So I read Robert Kiyosaki's books, and I thought, you know what? Everyone else making money out of property. 90% of self-made millionaires did it. I'm going to do it as well. And I just really almost brainwashed myself to success. But it wasn't until I had a few under my belt where then I thought, hey, I really believe it now, right?
Yes.
At the beginning, I didn't really believe it. I just did it, jumped off the cliff and did it because I wanted something and I was hoping. And then once you've got enough success, like now for me, buying a property is so easy. It's like brushing my teeth, right? There's no doubt at all. I know what I'm doing. But obviously, it takes experience. So, how do we take someone at the beginning of their journey, where I was, and help them get out of their comfort zone to have more faith in themselves and what they're doing? Because if you watch the media, there's a lot of negativity
There is.
about everything all the time. And there's
Mhm.
always worried about, you hear about interest rates going up, interest rates going down, and Trump doing this and everything else going on in the world. And it can be scary. The CNN network, I call it the crisis news network, right? They've always got a crisis going on. If you look on
Mhm.
social media, watch the news, there's always some sort of crisis going on, right?
Correct.
Even we live in the most abundant, best time in history. It's never been better.
Mhm.
However, it seems scary if you watch the news, and sometimes I get caught up as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bill Coventry said, every time I want to start, it feels like I don't deserve it, but want to do it.
Mm.
Sharing, Bill.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. So that's fairly common amongst people. So that's what I call a limiting belief, a belief that holds people back. Okay, so that's one of the key saboteurs of success, financially and otherwise. In addition to fear, fear is the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you explain more about limiting beliefs, how we get them, what they are, just so people understand?
Yeah, absolutely. So a belief is something we believe wholeheartedly. Okay, it's something that we believe is true for us. And it could be positive or negative. So positive beliefs are things like, I can make as much money as I want, I deserve success, I deserve to be happy. These are all examples of positive beliefs. Limiting beliefs hold us back, and include things like the one Bill shared, I don't deserve to have success, I don't trust other people, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection. These are all examples of limiting beliefs. Okay, so they're
Yep.
called limiting beliefs because they limit us. They hold us back from doing what we want to do.
Yep. Yep. And someone said, I can't get rid of the fear if I could not make it due to external factors impacting my ability.
Okay, so be very, very careful about your focus because if you focus on things out of your control, this is where frustration and fear will kick in because it's out of your control, and anxiety as well. There are only four things you can control. Four things: the way you think, the way you
Yep.
feel, your behavior, and the way you influence others through your communication. That's it. Okay, your
Okay.
thoughts.
The way you feel. A lot of people doubt that. I don't, but let's explain that because a lot of people feel from the environment and it's reactive, right? So how can you control how you feel?
What's your environment? So, for
Okay.
example, yep, for example, I haven't watched the news for over 24 years. I call it National Depression Hour
Ah,
because,
I love it. That's a good name.
yeah, Ben agrees, great, because people feel negative and down after watching the news. So, pay attention to how you feel when you watch the news. Does it uplift you? Does it motivate you? Does it excite you? Or does it bring you down? Okay,
The
and then
news brings me down every time.
absolutely, every time. Causes fear and anxiety. So I think it's very important to, for your own mental health, pay attention to how you feel after you interact with the news, different people, etc. And then make choices. How would you like to feel? And then what do you then need to watch and read in order to feel that way? Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the world will keep going regardless of whether or not you look at what's going on, and you'll always find out what's going on. Somebody will always tell you. You don't need to watch the news.
True. True. Um, Martha Dean said, how do you deal with negativity, especially when it comes to family, siblings, and parents? I see myself as a very positive person, but I'd be lying if I said it does not hurt. It is almost as if they don't want you to succeed or it becomes a competition. That's a very powerful one because I felt that a lot when I started too. So I
Um,
had that a lot from a lot of people. And it's funny how the people closest to you, they feel like they've got the permission to be really negative towards what you're doing, and hold you back. And I
yeah.
almost feel that they feel that they can't do it and they don't believe in you either, which is sad, right?
Mm.
But you can talk to it, Dr. Vesna.
Yeah, absolutely, George. Spot on. So I believe that people are our mirror and they reflect back to us things about us. So if we have buttons inside of us like anger or fear or hurt, they will push those buttons because they're there to be pushed. Okay. So
Mhm.
if you get angry towards someone in your family or whatever emotion towards them, it's your emotion. It's your emotional button that you need to address. So you'll be less affected by people's negativity when you are free of your buttons. Okay. So being buttonless, as I call. Yeah. So
Okay. How do you become buttonless though?
yeah, how you become buttonless is you basically let go of all the buttons that are being pushed inside of you. Well, there are two ways you can change it. Two
Mhm.
ways, generally speaking. The first way is with sheer willpower. Yeah, where basically you discipline yourself and you force yourself to feel better regardless of what people around you are doing. Okay, that's the hard way. That's really hard
Sounds
because
very hard. Sounds very hard.
yeah, because you need to be conscious of what you're doing, you need to catch it before you react, and you need to be on top of it. Yeah, and it takes over 21 consecutive days of willpower to change a habit or a response, and most people don't last that long. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's the hard way of doing it. The easy way is with subconscious change, where you reprogram your response subconsciously so you automatically respond differently. And that's the easy way because you don't have to remember to do it. It just happens automatically. Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about getting hypnotized to get rid of your butt.
Hypnosis, NLP, etc. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there are little techniques you can do to manage it. And if anyone's interested, I can certainly share some with you tonight.
Okay. I think, yeah. So how do you alter your subconscious? Tristan said. Well, one, we call it unconscious, not
Yes,
subconscious.
yes, that's right.
But yes,
Yep.
good question.
Okay.
So I guess what would be good is how do we maybe we could do a group session on getting rid of some negative beliefs.
Um,
Or
Probably,
what would be more appropriate as a group?
I think what would be good is to show everybody a very quick way to stop worry and dread. Would that be good?
Type in the chat yes, if that would be good. Who'd like to stop worry and dread?
Yeah, stop worrying about things. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Whether it's what other people think, or whether it's what's going to happen in the world, or what's going to happen in your own life, in a meeting with your boss, whoever.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be wonderful. I think that'd be great.
Awesome. Okay. So this is a very quick 1 minute maximum technique for reprogramming your thinking. Okay. Reprogramming your thinking. So what I'd like everyone to do is, first of all, does everyone understand how your thoughts affect your behavior? Is everyone clear about that?
I think let's go back to basics. Let's explain it. That'd
Okay.
be great.
Let's go through it. Okay, great. Is everyone open to doing a little exercise? Yep. All right, so let's do it. All right, so I'm just going to see if I can see how many people. I won't be able to see everyone, so I'll just watch some people. All right, so
Yep.
what I'd like
Let's,
all of you to
everyone like to turn their camera on,
Mhm.
and Vesna's going to hypnotize you through the camera. No,
No, not really. You're going to
I'm
hypnotize
joking.
yourself, actually. Yeah, it's a little self-hypnosis. You'll do it to yourself.
Do
All
it to
right.
yourself. You're going to hypnotize yourself.
Yes, that's it. All right. So what I'd like everyone to do is make sure you're sitting so we can see you from roughly from sort of chest up. And if everyone can hold their arms out in front of them like so.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect. Excellent. And I'd like for you to go ahead and close your eyes, please, and keep your arms out. And then I'd like for you to flip your right hand upwards so it's facing the ceiling, keeping the left one down, facing the floor. And now I'd like for you to do a little visualization in your mind. Imagine that in your right hand is a really heavy dictionary, one of those 3,000-page library book dictionaries, really heavy. Feel the weight of that dictionary on your right hand. Really imagine that. At the same time, tied to your left wrist is a light blue helium-filled balloon. And it's so light that it's lifting your left arm all the way up towards the ceiling, nice and high. Meanwhile, the dictionary is getting heavier and heavier, while the balloon's getting lighter and lighter. And just concentrate on the heavy book on your right hand and the light balloon on your left arm. And then keep your hands still and open your eyes and look at your arms and everyone else's. Very good. Notice how your arms moved. Good work, everyone. You can relax your arms. Now, would you all agree that there was no book and no dictionary?
Yep, definitely agreed. And also
Please.
agreed, my arms definitely moved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Great. No, that's okay. So notice what happened. You imagined a dictionary that wasn't there. You imagined a balloon that wasn't there, yet it affected your arms as if it was real. So that's the power of your imagination. Okay? Your mind is very powerful. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the power of your imagination to focus on success. Because when you focus on things going wrong or things not turning out or negative what ifs, that's where anxiety and dread kick in, and procrastination too. So would everybody like to think about something that is coming up for them? Maybe you have a meeting that maybe you're worried about, or a presentation at work, or maybe you need to make a decision about your investment, or something specific coming up that you're worried or unsure about. Everyone have something like that? Yeah. Okay. So what I'd like everyone to do is go ahead and close their eyes again. And this time, I'd like for you to bring up a movie screen in front of you. So imagine there's a movie screen in front of you, like a big cinema screen in front of you. On that movie screen, I'd like for you to see yourself in that movie at that event, meeting, or whatever you're concerned about, and watch yourself in that movie successfully achieving what you'd like to achieve in that event that you chose. So see yourself doing exactly what you want to be doing, hear the conversations you like to have, and feel exactly how you'd like to feel in that situation. And do that in about 30 seconds. And when you're feeling good about that event, just give me a little nod so I know. And then come back into the room and open your eyes, please. Okay. So who feels better about that event now?
Type in the chat, please, or nod to the camera.
George, yes. Good, George.
Kristen's saying, pumped, going to do it. Yes. No, I don't. Not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Pumped up. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very helpful.
Great.
I'm not a great visualizer. Peter, yes. Me, no. I will. There you go. So we got a lot of people that worked for and some it didn't work for.
Okay.
Well,
So
yep.
yeah. But the ones that didn't work for, you need to make sure you focus on success. Okay. It needs to be focusing on success without any negatives. So if you're thinking about what won't work, what can't work, what will go wrong, this visualization will be focusing on negative rather than positive. Okay. So really, really important to focus on success for it to work.
Yep. And the more practice you have, the better you get at visualization.
And keep in mind that visualization is done in lots of different ways. You don't have to clearly see pictures. So if in your mind you're expecting the picture to be as clear as George and I, it's called hallucination and people get locked up for that. So you don't want that.
Yes. Because it
Okay.
can be very vague. It could be a feeling, could be audio, could be a lot of different stuff, can't it?
That's exactly right. Yes. Yes.
And whatever way you do it, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
The key is you feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good. And that's a very powerful little 1-minute exercise people can do to visualize positivity instead of negativity. Because I suppose people get, Bill said worked very well. What about manipulation from other people?
Great question. First of all, people can only manipulate you if you allow them to. Okay. Yeah, people can't manipulate you without your permission. Unless, of course, they're doing brainwashing, which requires psychoactive drugs. Okay, and this has been proven.
Yeah.
So,
But people can get manipulated depending on their relationship with people, especially if it's been a long time. Sometimes people fall into those sort of relationships where they get manipulated by certain people. How do you get out of that?
yeah, so usually it's based on a person's beliefs. So if somebody is really good at rescuing other people, for example, as the other person who wants to be rescued will typically, they'll attract each other. A rescuer and somebody that likes to be rescued will typically attract each other. So it creates a dynamic between people. Likewise with, well, let's get extreme here, somebody who's very empathetic will typically attract somebody who's a narcissist because they tend to attract, opposites tend to attract, yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
And in a sort of disempowering way, it works. Both of their needs are being met, just in a very, very negative way, though, in the end. Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you
Obviously,
break, sorry,
sorry, I missed that. I missed that. Sorry. Okay.
the way you break the cycle is you look at your beliefs that are causing you to attract that sort of behavior from other people. Yeah. So typically people that believe that they're not worthy of love will attract anyone and will put up with anything just to get love, including manipulation. Okay. So we look at the beliefs the person has.
Yeah. So it's a matter of
Somebody,
working through the beliefs. Is that right?
exactly. Somebody who doesn't trust other people will attract people who can't be trusted. Okay. So your beliefs become your reality. Whatever you believe becomes real. And this has been proven by quantum physics.
Okay. So so I can just repeat it in different words. What you're saying is what you focus on grows in your life.
Yes.
Yep. So if you constantly are thinking about something, you're going to create that in your life because you're causing that to happen.
Yes,
So if
exactly.
you're thinking, I can't trust anyone, I can't trust anyone, can't trust anyone, you're going to attract people you can't trust.
Exactly.
If you're
Exactly.
thinking, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be broke, you're going to turn broke
Yes. Yes.
because your
Exactly.
brain can't think of a negative. We could talk about the negative thing. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, if you keep saying to other people, don't forget to do X, they'll forget. Yeah. So if you ask them, please don't forget to get the milk, they'll forget to get the milk. Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yes. And that's because your brain can only see the positive, it can't see the negative. So, for example, in America, they wanted to stop accidents in factories,
yes.
and they had a big poster with someone slipping on a banana saying, "Don't slip." And what happened there? More people
Well,
started slipping because they were looking at that and their mind was saying, "Slip." So that's
exactly.
why when you're trying to program your mind for success, you want to frame everything in a positive way.
Yes, correct. Correct. So instead of saying don't forget to get the milk, you want to say remember to get the milk.
Yep. Any other examples?
Instead of saying I hope I don't fail, you would say I hope I succeed.
Okay, there you go.
So think of
That's
the
a
opposite.
change. Good. Because if you keep saying, I hope I don't fail, your brain's saying fail, fail, fail. But
Correct.
instead, a bit like don't think of a blue elephant.
Yes.
And now everyone's thinking of a blue elephant, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So Raj is saying, is it manipulation if someone tells you you're too ambitious or chase the wrong things?
Um, well, depends on the person's intent. If their intent is to manipulate you, then yes, it's manipulation. All goes back to intent. The key question, though, is how do you respond to people making those comments? Do you just let it wash off you like water off the duck's back, or does it affect you? Okay, if it affects you, then it becomes your problem. If it doesn't affect you, then it's not a problem. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yep. Because
Yeah,
it's all context dependent
it is.
because there's no black or white rule because relationships are quite complicated.
That's right.
Okay. Aha. Moment I don't trust many. Aha moment I don't trust many. There you go. David said I don't trust many.
Yes.
And look, it's okay not to trust everyone either because there's a balance there. So it'd be silly if you just trusted everyone. It's you got to have that balance, but you don't want to have a general rule for everyone and sort of have a more positive mindset about things because you attract. Because I'm generally a very trusting person myself,
Mm, yep.
but sometimes I get burnt because of it. But the positives far outweigh the negatives, so it doesn't matter to me. But I'm not naive though. There's a difference there, right? So
Absolutely.
last
Yeah.
time a Nigerian prince sent me a letter and offered me $200 million fortune, I politely declined. Right?
Good work. Oh,
Exactly.
very good. Very good. So, I think the key to trusting other people is this. If you trust yourself, you're going to trust yourself to trust the right people. But if you don't trust yourself, then you're going to have trouble choosing who to trust. Okay? So
Yeah.
trust
And,
yourself is key.
and the thing is, a lot of people ignore their gut when it comes to human interactions. And
Yes.
I feel that your gut is your unconscious, and your unconscious is smarter than you a lot of times. And a
Yes.
lot of times you can trust your gut for a lot of things.
Correct, correct. And your gut is always right. So people get burnt when they go against it. And in hindsight, they'll say, oh, I knew something wasn't right. Why didn't I listen?
Yeah.
And hindsight's a great teacher.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a good teacher. Someone's saying, where in Australia do you have your practice?
My physical location is Melbourne, and at the moment I'm seeing a lot of clients online, so pretty much Australia, worldwide.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. Also, hopefully Kim will be able to type in if anyone wants to do a session with you. Do you have room? Do you have space?
Yes, so there's a little bit of a waiting period, but only a week or two out, depending on what time you're after.
Okay, great. What I'll do for anyone that really wants to make themselves bulletproof, and go with Vesna. I've had sessions with Vesna, and Vesna's very, very good at what she does. Otherwise, I wouldn't be introducing Vesna to everyone here. She's excellent. And it's really smart idea to fine tune your brain, and get it working to the best of its ability, which is great. Because I guess basically hypnosis and NLP is creating trust between you and your unconscious mind. And that's what you facilitate. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And the more you can trust yourself, the more successful you are in life. And that's been shown by successful people.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. I started doing NLP back in the 90s, and I really wanted success badly. And I worked very hard and found it hard to become successful. I worked my ass off, and really, I used to write on post-it notes, "You're successful," and all this sort of stuff, and try to brainwash myself, the back of my car, everywhere. I was really full on, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And then I did an NLP course in Bondi, the
Mhm.
practitioner. And after doing the course, that year after, I doubled my income,
Mm,
right? And things were easier for me. So something changed inside. And then I thought, this is awesome. I'll do the next course. I did the next course, doubled my income again.
mhm.
Then when I did the third course, it gave me the courage to leave and start my own business and start investing. And then my income went 10 times.
Awesome.
And that's all from working through limiting beliefs and doing all the stuff, and just doing the course putting was enough work for me to do that. So for me, it's been completely revolutionary. One of the best things I've ever done in my life. And it
Mm,
really changed my mindset and my internal limiting beliefs to allow me to become successful. And that gave
awesome.
me courage to get into property and do it and ignore people and just make it happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, people just need to realize that we create our own reality. Okay. Everyone has their own reality based on their own beliefs. So if you want to create a more successful, positive lifestyle for yourself, look at your beliefs, and identify the ones that are holding yourself back, let them go, and you'll see your lifestyle will change. Yeah. You still
Yeah.
need to do work. The work is just a lot easier. That's all.
Yeah. Can we talk about cause and effect and how that works?
Yes, we can. Cause and effect, absolutely. So in life, in business and investing, whatever area you're talking about, you can either be at cause where you take full responsibility for where you are, and have the success you want, or you can be at effect where you make excuses or blame other people for not having what you want. So you'll hear people make excuses like, it's too hard, I can't do it, that person makes me feel angry, traffic.
Interest rates are too high, banks are too tough,
Yeah,
the cash flow is not right, this is in the wrong suburb, my uncle doesn't like this property, my
yeah,
dog died, ate my homework, all those sort of excuses, because you got either excuses or results, correct?
exactly,
Yeah, but
exactly.
when it comes to cause, are you saying that everything in our life we're causing it?
We are causing everything in our life based on our thoughts and emotions and our behavior.
So in essence, you're saying we can look around ourselves and we've created all this ourselves. Whether
Yes,
it's good or bad, it's us.
exactly,
We're
exactly.
totally responsible.
And that's not to blame yourself. This is not about blaming yourself. It's about looking at your external world and realizing that when you change your internal world, it'll change your external world.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you don't blame yourself, but you're the cause of everything. You've got a good relationship, you're the cause. You've got a bad relationship, you're the cause. You've got a good job, you're the cause. Bad job, you're the cause. You got a nice car, you're the cause. You got a bad car, you're not, you're the cause. You're successful in property, you're the cause. Everything. Now,
Yeah.
I remember when Dr. Tad James was telling us this, and
Mhm.
I was going backwards and forwards, giving him all these different examples, counter examples, because I did not believe it. And I kept arguing with him. And we went through a big session and we went overtime, right? And um, because, I'll say, what if a meteor falls from the sky and hits your toe? And he goes, yep, you're the cause. Right? Because the fact of it is, even if you're not the cause, believing you're the cause empowers you to control where you're at and what you're doing. Is that right?
And also, if you believe that you're um, uh, able to contribute to your outcome, then you can change it as well. Because if you're at cause, you can also change it so you get better success rather than
Yeah.
being
So
effect where,
I'm curious to get a poll. Type in C if you believe you're at the cause of everything in life. And only do it if you believe it. And type in E if you think you're at the effect.
yeah,
Right?
effect being excuses. Yeah.
Yeah, effect. Yep. Because I've done a lot of soul searching about this because, I've believed I'm the cause, but found it difficult to understand until I read a book
Hmm.
recently. And The Subtle Art of Not Giving a FUCK. That's the book that I read. And
Okay.
it tells a really good example there and sort of
Hmm.
changes the equation a little bit. And for me, I found it a lot more palatable because he sort of says you're at cause and you're responsible, right? And he was giving an example that if someone drops a baby and knocks on the door and leaves a baby at your front doorstep and you open the door, well, suddenly that baby is your responsibility because you're at cause. Because even though you didn't put it there, it is your cause after that it's there because there's no one else there. You can't just leave the baby there, can you?
Well, I mean, people have a choice, obviously. And yes, some people would leave it, some people would take responsibility for it. Yes.
Yep. And then that sort of made the cause. Okay, see, it's interesting. Rebecca and Lee said mostly C, some E, can be a combination. It can't be a combination, can it?
Well, it actually can because
Okay. Yep.
in some areas of our life we can be at cause, in other areas we can be at effect. So, for example, somebody who's really successful in their career could be at cause, and somebody who's having challenges in their health could be at effect. Okay, so
Yes.
it depends on the context.
Yes, but being at core. So let's say, for example, you're successful in your career, but
Mhm.
you're affecting your health. Wouldn't it be better to be at cause of your health?
Absolutely.
That's so what you're saying, you can be both, but you're better off being at cause in everything.
Yes, correct.
Because if you really get down to it, um, believing you're at cause makes you much more powerful. And the fact of it is, this is the really strange thing. There's a lot of things that you think that you cannot control or change or affect. Many, many things. And the strange thing is, once you're at cause, your unconscious gives you a way of doing it. Because
Yes.
I've done this many times where I've had things that I had no control over at all. But I just let go and said, okay, I'm at cause. And funny enough, I found a way that I could control it. And I was like, wow, I'm so strange. I thought I couldn't do that one. But that must be an exception. And then it happens to me again. And it just keeps happening, right? So the funny thing is, being at cause is the most powerful concept anyone could learn. And if you bring away anything from tonight, if you can be a cause instead of effect, completely a cause of everything, that will empower you to reach your full potential.
Yes. So the way people go from effect to cause is by letting go of all their excuses, most of which are caused by limiting beliefs. Okay. So most people are not aware of their excuses because they're subconscious beliefs. So once we identify those beliefs and let them go, we shift from effect to cause and take full responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's one thing that's consistent in your whole life from when you're born to die, and that's you, the person in the mirror. Nothing
Yes.
else. That's the only consistency you have. And that's why when you look in the mirror, you are at cause because you are the whole story. Everyone else is part of the story, but you are the whole story in your life.
I think for some people, it might be a little bit easier to think of cause um, as contributing. How did I contribute to this situation? Okay, because if you take too much responsibility for things happening in life, that can lead to other problems. Yeah, if we're being overly responsible. So we need to just stay on our side of the responsibility as well,
Mhm.
and focus on our emotions, our thoughts, our behaviors, and how we communicate. And whatever other people are doing or not doing is their responsibility. Yeah. So just stay focused on what you can control as well.
Yeah, but it's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. Anyone else got any questions or comments about this? Boundaries. Emma said boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about boundaries.
What would you like to know?
Okay, well,
Huge
I
topic.
suppose some people have got very tight boundaries. Some people got very loose boundaries, right? Some people are military dictatorship and other people are like
Yep.
free love, whatever. And I think where do you sit on boundaries? What are your thoughts of boundaries and how they work?
Boundary. Okay, so people need to be careful because some people interpret boundaries as walls they put up. It's like a wall that, separates them from other people to protect them. Boundaries
Hmm.
are actually quite different. Boundaries are about a win-win in a relationship. It's like how can both people win by understanding what's acceptable and what's not acceptable for each person in that relationship. Okay, so
Mm.
there's first of all, a whole piece around making sure your boundaries are healthy rather than unhealthy. Okay, because some people have unhealthy boundaries, and they'll say, put rules in place to keep people out because they're afraid of being hurt, for example, or afraid of being rejected. So they're unhealthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries are where you are totally happy with who you are, you're free of your buttons, and you have certain standards of how you want people to treat you and respect you. That's a healthy boundary.
Okay, so unhealthy boundaries. I've got a friend and he says he's not in a relationship because he's too busy. But
Okay.
I know it's not because he's busy, because he's not that busy, but obviously he's afraid of being in a relationship and he uses that as his boundary and excuse of why he doesn't do it. So that's a sort of unhealthy boundary, isn't it?
That's an unhealthy boundary.
Because he'd probably want one if he had the confidence, but doesn't do it because I don't know why. I'm not a didn't psychotherapize him, but yes, so that's an unhealthy boundary, and that's a sort of that boundary there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Marianne said, "How do you uncover your limiting beliefs?"
How you uncover them is by paying attention to your self-talk. Your self-talk will give you a clue as to your beliefs. So what I suggest is when it comes to taking any action, pay attention to what are you thinking just before you go to do something, or what are you thinking just before you stop yourself from doing something. Okay, are the thoughts positive or negative? And what are they? And I would keep a little list. I'd write it down because if you look for patterns, and twice is a pattern from a behavior point of view, if you see repetition of thought, you're going to start to identify the belief causing those thoughts. Okay, so
Yes, I did an internal thought sort of I spent 3 months
mhm,
writing down all my internal talk and all my negative words and beliefs. And
awesome.
I kept writing them down. And then me and my friend actually that I lived with, we used to fine each other $1 every time we said something negative about ourselves or something
Mhm.
disempowering. So what we did is we spent 3 months, and luckily we lived together, we're both into it from Tony Robbins. We spent 3 months getting rid of all that disempowering talk. And the funny thing is, you get rid of disempowering talk because I know one guy, very successful, lovely guy, and for any little thing, he goes, "Oh, you idiot," to himself, really loud in front of everyone. And I said, "Look,
Okay.
you're not an idiot. You shouldn't talk to yourself that way." Because obviously I'm aware of what he's doing, but he wasn't aware. So every time I have lunch with him, I try to remind him, but I don't see him that often. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And I think that's a good tip, actually, George. If you live with someone or are close friends to someone and you catch up, give each other some feedback, like constructive feedback. If you notice a recurring theme to the words the other person uses, make them aware of it. Yeah. And come from
Yeah,
a constructive feedback space. Yeah. Do it with
yeah.
each other.
Get permission for both of you, because otherwise it might sound like you're attacking them. Because some people can't handle it, and other people can, right?
That's right.
Because I've got a friend, and whenever I catch her out in a negative talk, she gets very upset with me and thinks that I'm attacking her. So I don't give her any comments at all. Because some people don't want the feedback or can't handle the feedback. So you need to get their permission and have some
Absolutely.
positive minded that wants it. But it's fast, it's amazing stuff.
Mm.
Okay, so how do you stop yourself always saying yes to helping others, which ends up in your own detriment in the long run?
Okay, so it goes back to beliefs again. If you take too much responsibility for other people, likely you're going to say yes to other people and basically bail them out and rescue them. If you put other people ahead of yourself as a priority, it'll happen as well. So again, it's down to beliefs. Okay, so I always say, you've probably heard this before. Uh, when you get in a plane to do a safety demonstration, they always say put on your oxygen mask first before helping anybody else. Okay, so that's what you need to get to. Look after yourself first before you can help anyone else. And it's about identifying and letting go of the beliefs causing it.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. I love the oxygen mask first. That's brilliant. So someone asked, Mardine's asked, where do values come into play?
Values, great, great, great. Excellent question. Thank you. So values are what motivates us. They are our priorities in life. And so they determine how we spend our time. So if something's really, really important to you, you're going to do it, aren't you? And
Absolutely.
yeah, and if something's not important to you, you won't do it. So it's really good to look at your values on a subconscious level because that'll determine whether your priorities aligned for the success you want. Okay, so
Yes.
if
Yep.
in your values, money is number 10 and you want to have a lot of money, well, having money at number 10 is not going to give you a lot of money, for example. Okay, it's too low in priority.
That's right. And for example, if and funny enough, if you move your values around, you can change because what happens is if someone gets their value of health and puts it up the top, then quitting smoking is very easy. But
Yes,
if you don't know your values, because what happens is you're constantly going towards your values and you've got a hierarchy of values. You've got your number one value, two, three, four, and you follow your hierarchy and go to the top one first. Is that correct?
correct.
Yep. And by being clear on your values and maybe even tweaking them on purpose to be more in line with what you want, that can help as well. How do people have different values to what they think they've got? How does that work? How does that happen?
Yeah, good question, George. So people often look at their values on a conscious level. And so they'll say, okay, what's important to me? Blah, blah, blah. They'll make a note and they will just make a conscious list. And that's fine, but it's our subconscious values that drive our motivation and what's important to us. So just looking at the surface values is insufficient because it's the subconscious values that drive your subconscious behavior. So you need to look deeper, go through a process of looking at them on a deeper level.
Okay, so what you're saying is if health's your number one value, but you're still smoking, then it's not really your number one value. You just think it is, but your unconscious mind's probably got something else there, like enjoyment or something else, whatever secondary thing it's giving you. So is that what you're saying?
Yes, and also, even though health is number one and the person still smokes, we look at the beliefs around health. If the beliefs are limiting, that'll be sabotaging the person giving up smoking, for example. Okay.
Okay. What do you mean by limiting belief about health? Please explain.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for example, the person may have health as number one, but they might have a belief that they always get sick, for example.
Aha. So they've got the wrong belief, but the right value.
Yes, yes. So
And they always
if
get sick. So then they're trying to empower that belief by their actions.
yes, and so what we want to do is we want to make sure that the beliefs are aligned with the values or positive.
Yep, yep. So values are rooted in the belief. Does that mean you need to alter our belief if some values are not aligned with what we want?
Good question. Often when we're working with aligning the values, we are also aligning the beliefs as well. So we'll look at both. Yes.
Yep. So I guess I think Tony Robbins said that a value is like a tabletop. The beliefs are the legs underneath the table. Is that right? Am I got that right?
Sort of. So the way I look at it is that every value has a set of beliefs around it. So
Yes.
think a value with a whole bunch of beliefs supporting it. So we can either just change the value, but we want to also make sure that the beliefs are going to be supporting the value as well. It's not just a superficial change.
Okay. I've got a question to ask you, Vesna.
Please.
Think next session we can go through and sort people's values out.
We'll probably need the full hour to do that if everyone's open to
Yep.
it.
I'm open to it. I think a full hour doing values will be pretty powerful. Um, hey guys, type in the chat if you'd love to spend a full hour doing a proper unconscious unpack of your values. This would be very powerful. Wow, I got a lot of yeses, 100%. Yeah, this is the sort of stuff that you pay Anthony Robbins 25 grand for, right? It's powerful stuff. And I remember learning how to do it with Tad, so I'd love to assist you, but that's exciting, very exciting. What an opportunity. Everyone is pumped, Vesna. They're very excited.
Awesome.
Right. There you go. So time to land this plane. We've got 5 minutes. So let's
Any,
wrap.
yeah, any questions from the audience? I'd love to answer any questions.
Yeah. So you certainly lit up the uh, the chat tonight, Vesna. Lots of people are very excited. Okay, hard to change cravings too. How can we book in with you? Kim will give you the website. Kim will place it in if you want to book in with Vesna. I suggest booking Vesna would be very powerful and amazing. And whoever books in, I'd love to get your feedback afterwards as well. That'd be great. Are you an investor, Vesna?
I am.
Of course. Yes. So very exciting. I think we went through a lot of amazing things. And it's really good to catch up with you again. What's the weather like there in Melbourne at the moment?
I call Melbourne Melarctica at the moment.
Oh, Antarctica. Yeah, okay, fair enough. There you go. Um, well, I wanted to thank you once again for joining us. It's been a
Pleasure.
great session. It was excellent. I really look forward to doing the values because I think I'd love to go to deep on a subject, really deep, and going with values of you to be exciting. And also, I want to thank all our members for joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And okay, Adam said I've had a look. I'm going to book in. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Um, quickly type in the chat, what did you learn tonight? What's the biggest takeaway? Type in the biggest takeaway before we finish. Great shirt, Vesta. Thank you very much. Limiting beliefs. Cause and effect. Yeah, the cause and effect is powerful. It's my favorite thing. It took me a long time to understand, a lot of effort. But I suppose that's why I needed it so much. Your mind says 80%, if not more, cause and effect. Great for more to watch the watching it from Whistler, Canada. Look at that, 3 a.m. I'm pretty impressed. Shout out to Kane, who's in Whistler in Canada at 3 o'clock in the morning and watching. Well done. Love your work, Kane. The relationship between beliefs and values. I need to make a booking, positive mentality. Thank you. Really appreciate it. The mind is a powerful tool. There you go. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening.
Bye for now.